The sirens hit first, shrill, pulsing banshee screams echoing through the underbelly of Arax's station. Kael Voss didn't hesitate. He shoved through the market crowd, shoulder first, scattering crates and startled vendors as red lights bathed everything in an emergency glow. "They know," he muttered. He'd barely made it out of Dock 17 before the bounty squad arrived. Their boots hit the deck in perfect sync, black armor gleaming like wet obsidian. Standard purge unit. No questions, no trial, just kill orders. Kael ducked into a rusted maintenance shaft, dragging the panel shut behind him. The muffled whine of a plasma rifle charge-up sounded behind him. Then a scream. Someone else had just taken the bolt meant for him. Good. Less attention. The shaft stank of old coolant and ozone. He moved fast, sliding through like a rat, ignoring the slice of metal against his forearm. Pain could wait. Breathing hard, he emerged into the lower cargo bay, just above the grav rails. He was close. "Voss!" A voice cracked through his earpiece. "They activated Class Red protocol. You're boxed in." "Thanks for the warning, Rail," he grunted. "Would have appreciated it before I got burned." Static. Then silence. She sold me out, he realized. Cold fury stabbed through his gut. He shoved it down. The stolen data cube thudded against his chest under the armor. Compact, ancient, council tech, maybe even pre-council. It had cost him 2 dead informants and a ship bribe to get here. And now the station was going full lockdown. Footsteps rang above. He glanced up. One of the soldiers, tall, six-limbed, insectoid, scanned the bay. Kael slipped behind a supply crate, knife drawn, breath shallow. When the patrol passed, he moved. Back into motion, he sprinted across the bay, leapt down a support beam, rolled, and slammed into the docking port keypad. His fingers flew. Denied. Again. Denied. Come on. The third try worked. The hatch hissed open, revealing the sleek, black body of his stealth cruiser, Ashwake. Barely bigger than a gunship, it was fast and loud, just how he liked it. A shout rang out behind him. Target acquired. It's the human. Kael spun, fired twice. One bolt missed. The second hit home, clean through the chest of a blue-armored enforcer. No time to watch him fall. Kael vaulted into the cockpit. The ship's AI flickered to life. "Welcome back, Kael. Shall I prep evasive protocols?" "Just punch it, Hex." The Ashwake howled to life, thrusters flaring as the bay doors began to close. Turrets tracked him instantly, too slow. He shot through the gap, into open void, just as plasma licked the ship's flank. Stars spilled across the viewport. Araxes shrank behind him. A transmission request pinged. He answered it. A face flickered on screen, Rail. Still gorgeous, still dangerous. But her expression wasn't smug. It was scared. "You don't understand what you stole, Kael," she said. "You think that cube's just data? That's a grave. A mass grave." Kael's jaw tightened. "Then why send a kill team?" She hesitated. Because the Council didn't just erase humans. They buried the truth. If that gets out. He killed the feed. Later, drifting in a dark pocket of dead space, Kael finally sat with the cube. His ship's systems verified the encryption, 4 centuries old. Council-level clearance. He connected the interface to the command console. The ship's lights dimmed. The projection snapped on. A human face. Weathered. Male. Blood on his uniform. Eyes hollow. "If you're seeing this," the man said, "then Earth is gone. And you're what's left." Kael didn't move. Didn't breathe. "They'll tell you we started the war. That we refused peace. But they lie. We made something, a weapon. Not of destruction, but memory. A curse of knowledge. And when they realized they couldn't control it, they chose extinction. the man's voice cracked. We erased ourselves to protect it. The feed cut off. Static. Kael stared at the screen. The Council didn't just kill humans, they rewrote history. They turned his species into a myth. A cautionary tale. His species. He opened the med compartment. Dug until he found the old blood kit. He'd run the tests 1,000 times, never really believing them. Chromosome 2 fusion. Mitochondrial markers. Homo sapiens. Human. He leaned back, heart hammering. The weight of it pressed against his chest like gravity had doubled. They hunted his kind to extinction. Burned worlds. Wiped archives. Killed children in their cribs. All for fear of what humans could become. But they missed one. And now he had their secret. Back in the cockpit, a new transmission crackled through, uncoded, raw, council-wide. "This is High Executor Drath Tal of the Purge Authority," the voice said. "Cold. Efficient. We have identified the fugitive. Genetic purity confirmed. All sectors authorized to engage. Do not allow contact with populated systems. Pause. He is human. The last. And he must not survive." Kael smiled for the first time in days. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind you wore just before you punched someone through a wall. "Hex," he said quietly. "Plot a course to the Rose sector. Danger level, critical. I'm done hiding." The AI paused. Then nodded. Understood. Stars stretched, twisted, and vanished as the ship blinked into hyperspace. The Rose 7 loomed like a wound in space. The moon spun in slow orbit around a dead gas giant, wrapped in black storm clouds and static-choked magnetism. No signals came in or out. That's why Kael chose it. The ashwake pierced the lower atmosphere, slicing through clouds thick with radiation dust. Mountains clawed at the sky, and below them, nestled in the bones of the valley, stood the last human colony. What was left of it? "Landing coordinates locked," Hex said, her voice low. "No signs of movement. No life forms within range." "Doesn't mean they're not here," Kael muttered, adjusting his sidearm. He disembarked into silence. The air was breathable, barely. Cold wind dragged ash across cracked pavement. Towers leaned like drunken giants. Human structures, pre-collapse, covered in centuries of decay. Roads gone. Statues half buried in dust. The sign above the main square read New Avalon. Letters faded, but still proud. Kael moved quietly, weapon drawn, eyes sharp. He wasn't sure what he expected. Ghosts, maybe. Instead, he found memory. A scorched playground. A cracked photo, 2 children laughing in a field. A broken drone, vines curling through its shattered lens. He reached what used to be a command bunker. The blast doors were sealed, half buried in debris. It took an hour to cut through. Inside, lights flickered. The power grid ran off ancient solar arrays, still barely holding. He descended into the dark. "Kael," Hex said through his earpiece. "I'm detecting a faint signature. Not human. Biomodified." He stopped. "Coordinates. 70 meters below. Moving." Kael moved fast now, steps silent on the metal. The tunnels tightened. His breath fogged in the stale air. Rounding a final corridor, he froze. A figure stood at the end. Slim. Cloaked in synth hide. Not armed, not immediately. Then it spoke. "You shouldn't be here." The voice was soft, alien, yet something in it felt human. Kael kept his pistol steady. "Neither should you." The figure stepped forward, pulling back their hood. Pale green skin, bioluminescent lines tracing veins beneath. Eyes too large, too knowing. "I'm Fen," they said. "I live here." "Alone?" A nod. "Why?" Fen's gaze held his. "Because I wasn't supposed to be born." Kael lowered the weapon. What do you mean? My parents were researchers. Obsessed with humans. They came here before the Purge patrols sealed off the site. They died trying to archive what they found. I stayed. And what did they find? Fen smiled faintly. That humans weren't monsters. Kael exhaled. You believe that? I've lived in your bones. Read your stories. The council erased your name but couldn't kill your spirit. Fen paused. And now you walk. That means they failed. Kael stepped closer. I need access to the core archives. There's a council data cube, they'll hunt me forever for it. Fen tilted their head. You brought it here? Yeah. Fen didn't hesitate. Follow me. They descended deeper into the colony, to a chamber untouched by time, an archive vault shielded beneath tons of rock. Fen keyed in a code only their species could have known. The doors hissed open. Inside, shelves of preserved data cores lined the walls. Earth's final thoughts, hidden beneath dust and regret. Kael placed the cube in the central interface. The system word, ancient protocols engaging. A projection blinked to life, Earth, blue and whole, spinning slowly. Then the message began. A council chamber, distorted. Audio shaky. Project designated Obsidian memory must not be released. The human capacity for psychological warfare is unmatched. They weaponized truth. A second voice. Human. Calm, resigned. Because truth is the one thing you can't regulate. We didn't build a bomb. We built a mirror. The projection shifted, footage of council leaders watching Earth's collapse. Not from war. From coordinated dismantling. Evacuation. Surrender. Deliberate extinction. Kael stared, fists clenched. They gave up everything, he whispered. They made themselves the villain, Fen said. To buy the galaxy peace. The message ended. Silence filled the vault. Then the air shifted. A ping echoed from Hex. Multiple vessels inbound. Council markings. No hails. Kael turned sharply. They followed me. Fen's expression hardened. We'll hold them off. No, Kael said. You'll die. We already died, Fen said calmly. The moment we were born to carry your story. This is your fight. Kael nodded once. He backed toward the exit, drawing his rifle. I'll lead them out. You bury the archive. No one else finds it unless I say. Fen reached into their cloak and handed him something, an old pendant. Human-made. For luck. He took it, wordless. Then he ran. Outside, the Ashwake's engines screamed to life. Kael vaulted into the cockpit as cannon fire lit up the horizon. The cruiser dodged, ducked, dived. Flares bloomed like dying stars. One ship broke formation, sleek, angular, silver as bone. A flagship. Hex confirmed it. Executor Tao's personal cruiser. Of course it is. The comms cracked. Kael Voss. This is Draith Tao. I offer you one chance to surrender. Kael opened the channel. You want the cube? No, Tao replied. I want the idea of you gone. The virus of what you are. That's what I was built to erase. Kael grinned. Then you're about to fail your purpose. He cut the line and hit the throttle. The Ashwake broke atmosphere, climbing hard. Tao's cruiser gave chase. Above them, stars wheeled. The hunter had found him. But Kael wasn't prey anymore. Kael's ship tore through the Varus Reach, a graveyard of stars. Around him, fractured moons spun in slow chaos. Chunks of broken celestial bodies floated like forgotten bones. Debris fields from ancient wars shimmered in the void. At the center of it all pulsed the black hole, Varus Prime, its lightless eye drinking time itself. It was perfect. This place is death, Hex warned. Gravitational anomalies are destabilizing the navigation grid. Good, Kael muttered. Let them follow me into hell. Behind him, Executor Tao's fleet emerged from warp, 3 destroyers, 1 command ship, and an escort cloud of drones. Overkill. Kael activated the signal. This is Kael Voss, he said into the calm last of humanity. You want me? You come here. Alone. I've locked my ship to explode if boarded. You kill me, and this ends in pieces. A pause. Then Tao's voice, cold as ever. You're bluffing. Kael smiled. Try me. Tao's ship broke formation. Only him, Kael told Hex. If they try anything, burn out the drive core. This ends my way. Understood. He docked with Tao's vessel mid-drift, the metal groaning under the strain of the nearby black hole. As the hatch opened, Kael stepped through into silence. Tao stood alone in the docking bay, flanked by nothing but steel and starlight. Unarmed. I expected more guards, Kael said. If you die here, it's cleaner, Tao replied. They stared at each other. 2 relics. 2 remnants of a war that tried to erase one species and nearly broke another. You've seen the archive, Kael said. I have. And? Tao's jaw tightened. It changes nothing. Of course it does. They didn't fear our power. They feared our truth. That's why you still chase me. I chase inevitability, Tao said. The galaxy runs on fear. You returning tips the balance. Kael stepped forward, every movement deliberate. The Council turned us into monsters so they could feel safe. But the truth doesn't stay buried forever. Then you condemn us all. No, Kael said quietly. I give you a choice. He pulled a data spike from his belt, raw, encrypted, the sum of the human archive. A blueprint of history. A memory bomb. This is everything, he said. Every voice they silenced. Every record they burned. I send this out, and the whole galaxy remembers what you did. Tao looked at the spike. Then at Kael. You wouldn't. Try me. Tao took a slow breath. And what do you want, human? Kael locked eyes with him. I want a future. Back aboard the Ashwake, the clock was ticking. The black hole's edge danced dangerously close to the ship's proximity field. One misstep, one burst of static, and gravity would tear it apart atom by atom. Kael returned alone, spike in hand. Tao let him go. Hex said nothing until they were out of range. Well, she asked. Kael slumped into the chair. He let me walk. That's unexpected. Not really. He inserted the spike into the ship's core console. Data flooded the screen. Memories, footage, art, voices, names. The last will of a species. Send it, Kael said. Hex paused. Once this is out, it cannot be undone. There will be war. Revolution. Collapse. I know. And you're sure? No, Kael admitted. But I'm done letting others tell my story. Hex transmitted the signal. It fractured through subspace, bouncing across the void, piggybacking on every forgotten relay and scavenger beacon. A virus made of truth. A scream from extinction. Moments later, the galaxy screamed back. 3 hours later, Kael sat in the silent cockpit. No pursuit. No messages. Just static and stars. Then the call came through. Encrypted. Human code. He accepted it. Fenn's face appeared, bruised but alive. You did it, they said. The colonies are in chaos. Council command centers are locking down. Some planets are rebelling. Kael exhaled slowly. How many died? Fenn hesitated. Less than would have if it stayed hidden. Silence stretched. Fenn leaned closer. They're calling it the human signal. You turned the myth into memory. Kael shook his head. I didn't do anything. I just remembered who we were. Fen smiled. So what now? Kael stared into the black. Now. I rebuild. Days passed. Word spread. Some species condemned the transmission as heresy. Others called it liberation. On backwater moons, kids began carving human names into metal walls. On high councils, the phrase "we were wrong" started surfacing in whispers. And somewhere, in the dark reaches of unclaimed space, a new station flickered to life. No banners. No flags. Just a name, scrawled in human script. Rebirth.